Hey everybody, this is ManlyBadassHero, and welcome to my second playthrough of the Undertale demo. For anyone who has not played the demo, or has not seen my previous playthrough, I would recommend not watching this because I will be spoiling the game and talking about the plot as I go along. Okay, we're back at the beginning with the flowers. Now, Flowey's dialogue should be a little bit different if you're reloading the game or starting a new one. Supposedly, the more you play and reload your game, the more annoyed he gets in that opening dialogue. Yes, give me all your love. Little white friendliness pellets. Friendliness pellets. You know what's going on here, don't you? You just wanted to see me suffer. Die. So even if you don't hit his friendliness pellets, you still get this part of the game. Which only just, shows that Flower, or Flo, is a huge prick. So Toriel, if you've read some of the creators' interviews, some of his dialogues, she's like your tutorial character, like you usually see in these games. And the creator's logic was, if a person was like the tutorial character trying to explain everything to you, they probably just would do everything for you. They wouldn't really teach you, they'd just be almost babying you. But aside from that, you're supposed to get attached to her. She's definitely a mother figure in this. Excuse me, life with that switch. Which only makes the finale all the more heartbreaking if you're probably doing a fresh run and don't know what's coming. Yep. So you don't get any XP from saving anyone. Although you do get XP for damaging people. I've seen most pacifist runs, they don't even hurt anything, they just talk their way out of the entire demo. Which is easy enough to do. When the full game comes out, I wouldn't be surprised if it might actually punish you a bit for not doing some damage. But I suppose if you're as, good enough at the Danmaku section of the game, it wouldn't really matter. You would just have that kind of danger of being one-shot. Now, if you saw my first playthrough of this, then you know that I, right away, as soon as I got past these spikes, I went back into them. And they just go back down. So you were really in no danger whatsoever. And that's kind of hitting at Toriel's character a bit in this whole section. She sees you as a kid. She kind of wants to baby you and kind of hold your hand for a thing like mothers do. Not all mothers, but, They even play the, kind of dramatic music here, like this is a very dangerous moment, you being by yourself and being on your own. And for a lot of kids growing up, there is a lot of moments like these, actually. Where even just being separated from your parent can be scary for a kid. It depends on the kid. If you were like me, you were the type who wandered off on your own and got lost purposely. I actually have a theory that the playable character, though, it may not be a kid. At least, inside, anyway. I'll get into that after I get through this run, though. Mushy mush. No, we don't need any candy. Last time I chose cinnamon, let's go butterscotch this time. Personally, I prefer cinnamon, but Ah! See? If you choose cinnamon, she's kind of like, you don't hate butterscotch, right? Oh wait, let's see. Oh, no, same dialogue, just reversed. These actually remind me of the codec calls in Metal Gear. And one. I actually wonder if there is some intention. Oops, I screwed that up. Went too far ahead. Because aside from the fluff, for the most part, if you ignore the protocols, well, looking for this battle first. But the protocols, the main thing in the protocols for Metal Gear, aside from fluff, was they were tutorials on how to do certain sections of the game. You're just assuming I'm a rock that's gonna be pushed. How did you know I'm not just like some rebellious rock? A nonconformist. This game likes to kind of screw up your expectations. You expect the rock to move because it's the bloody rock. But then you find the rock who really just wants to hang out. Then you find the ghost who you expect to be like a mid-boss or something. But it's a little bit misleading. If you notice, the Danmaku actually changes in difficulty and shifts a bit depending on their mood. I can form a dapper hat with my tears. I mean, there's not many options to the battles as far as like the complement and stuff like that right now. I don't know if that's gonna change in the full version. But really, a lot of these fights, at least if you're not just outright killing them, they're pretty much puzzles. That was a pretty simple one. But I imagine it's gonna get more complicated later on. Oh no. Whoops. cryptic metaphor. Ow. You see, now that he kind of likes me, he just, you know, ignores me. Which is good, because I'm about to die. Moshi. Huh. I didn't actually realize. When she first comes out, she doesn't see you, and that's why she goes for the phone. I didn't notice that at first. There's some kind of symbolism to this. I don't really know what it is. Every time this tree grows some leaves, they fall off. Could be symbolism for all the people who've maybe died here. This is a bit off topic to the actual situation going on here, but if you look at you remember the opening of the game, where it shows this kind of war between the humans and monsters. It definitely seems like the leader, or at least the leading hierarchy of these things, are of the same race as Toriel. It actually looks a bit like Ganon in the silhouette, but I'm assuming it's not Ganon. And Toriel does make references to some others. I don't think that's Flowey. I think Flowey's kind of like his own thing. So there's a good chance in the full version we'll probably encounter more of this race. And I'm only just going to assume that they aren't as quite as friendly to human beings. A nice moment in this game. Let me go up back for a second, I just want to talk about something. Well, the music is playing anyway. Whenever you play a JRPG or any of these kind of long, like, games where they kind of get involved in the adventure and whatnot, you always have those lull moments. Sometimes they're the characters visiting a beach, sometimes they're just goofing off, sometimes they're eating together or something like that. And those moments are some of my most favorite within these type of, like, RPGs and whatnot. There are always those nice moments that make the characters seem more human if done right. If it comes off like Final Fantasy X with the ha 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 scene, it's awkward, but the other moments, there was always something special about them. And with the pacing of a lot of games, you don't get that too much anymore. And you don't get that human feeling a lot. You get the feeling of this like a Hollywood movie kind of moving. But games can take advantage of those downtimes. Those kind of lulls in moments, if you know what I mean. And sometimes they don't like to do that anymore. But I think they're pretty important to set the mood for a lot of characters and humanize them. There's also that kind of sad moment that comes in these games, where you hit that crescendo point of the game. I think an obvious example is Final Fantasy VII, where the meteor comes down and it's hanging over the clouds, and the music's all depressing, and you go to town and people are all depressed and stuff. But not long before that shit happens, you're off goofing off in Golden Saucer and shit, and having goofy adventures. So it's such a stark contrast. And that's kind of what goes on here. You come in the house, and it's just such a nice, you get the nice music playing, and Toyo's very nice. But then, this kind of crescendo happens here in the basement. And depending how this situation unfolds based on your actions, it's kind of slaps you in the face. Because the game has been mostly, aside from Flowey, it's been mostly, especially on your first run, it's been mostly upbeat. There's very little grimness to it at all. Most of the monster designs are even very cartoony, and they come off very friendly. We did save her last time, but I guess our character still remembers the time we killed her. No, I think there's a bit of an Easter egg if we go all the way back to the beginning. Let's take a look. Yeah, here we are. That's actually important. It's a small Easter egg. It's like 2 lines, but it's important in the context when you think of the flowers broke your fall. As she says, someone has to take care of these flowers. Well, it's implying, well, she said so many words that this happens often. People come down here, and the maintaining of the flowers so they can cushion people's falls is actually her doing. And if it wasn't for her, you might have just crashed hard down and never made it in the first place. Hey, Floey. What's up, you dick? Dialogue seems mostly the same as the previous one. No, this is different here. But what will you do if you meet a relentless killer? You'll die, and you'll die, and you'll die. Until you tire of trying. What will you do then? Will you kill out of frustration? Or will you give up entirely on this world? And let me inherit the power to control it. I am the prince of this world's future. Don't worry, my little monarch. My plan is in regicide. This is so much more interesting. These guys only show up on your pacifist run. They're kind of a reward for that, I guess. So he makes a reference, make sure you see his outfit someday. I wonder if that means they only show up in pacifist runs, and we'll only get to see his cool outfit if we manage to maintain a pacifist run in the full game. I don't know. Don't you have anything better to do? He just cut straight to the point. Like, even more so this time. He's like, God damn. Don't you have a life? Stop playing this game so I can take over the world. Screw you, dummy. That dummy is not for fighting, they're for talking to. So if you notice, the music's changed. And this is because I've basically sat here and grinded and wiped out the local fauna. I wasn't able to capture the screen when it happened, but a random encounter came up and it just says, nobody came, and then just cuts right out. And then this music just plays. All the cheery music is gone. Which actually makes these conversations a bit creepier with this music playing. I imagine this young kid just having these cheery calls like, oh, what do you want on your cake and this and that. I want cinnamon. And your blood. What are you wearing? It won't matter, because I'm gonna kill you, huh? And this music seems to persist. I don't know if it's gonna change when I get to the next area with the new different encounters, but, you know, we'll see. And also the save point completely changes, it just says determination. Like you're determined to just kill the hell out of everyone. And the ghost doesn't even stick around. He's just like, oh, fuck that shit. I saw what he did to all, like, 20 of those guys over there. I am not sticking around for this. I may be a ghost, but I ain't stupid. Is that a new conversation? I don't remember if that was there before. Oh, puzzle help. I never actually used that option. Our veggie friend ain't even here anymore. How did you get here, my child? Are you hurt? Have you been murdering everything I've out there? Why are you carrying that? Oh. Huh, that's new. I never got here with no damage. So the dialogue is mostly the same. Except for that one thing which had nothing to do with, you know, me murdering everyone. You know, another way I can interpret that tree is due to the saving, scumming, and all that stuff, it could be a reference to how if it grows a leaf, I've already reset the game, so it goes back, you know, to not having leaves, they've fallen off. Nothing to see here. Go home. God, I wonder how many variations she has down there. I believe it's a fresh run and you do that. You don't get that dialogue. Instead, your character will cut her off and she'll be like, wait a minute, let me finish my dialogue. This is not a fresh run, so... So once again, she makes reference to them. I don't know if she means the monsters I slaughtered, or if she means like some kind of monster hierarchy that's in the deeper into this underground. You're not really human, are you? No. You're empty inside. Just like me, in fact. You're Carol, right? We're still inseparable after all these years. Listen, I have a plan to become all-powerful. Even more powerful than you and your stolen soul. Let's destroy everything in this wretched world. everyone, everything, and these worthless memories. Let's turn them all to dust.
That's a wonderful idea.
That was fun. Let's finish the job. So that's pretty much all of Undertale. There's a few more endings and variations based on fresh or not fresh runs. Based on whether or not you save Scum after you've killed her or not killed her. There's videos of those out there. I won't be going back for them. Actually, one of my subscribers who recommended the game to me in the first place has videos of some of these endings, so I will leave a link in the description for that. So the Pacifist ending's not too much different from the neutral one. The only difference is, I know in the neutral ending, if you've killed some, spared some, and you spell your tutorial, that he'll mention about the monsters you've killed, and he'll kind of, you know, make a jab at you, how, oh, did you assume that they didn't have families, or things like that. And this goes back to my point originally, that this kind of mocking that logic of games where you just kind of blindly kill with disregard for any kind of context to these things, whatever you're killing, whether the soldiers or what have you. You kill hundreds or thousands of things by the time you're done. And in reality, you probably are the equivalent of a demon on the battlefield. Actually, Metal Gear made a jab at that with Metal Gear Solid 3. Like, Metal Gear, you know, obviously is a game where you can go through Pacifist for the most part, and not kill anyone, and it rewards you with things for that, like awards or anything, and rankings and stats. And Metal Gear Solid 3, you had the Sorrow, who had that whole section that was as long as your kill list was, and each ghost actually reflected how you kill them. So Metal Gear did something like that. And actually sharing in common with the Metal Gear games, Undertale, they both have the extensive attention to Easter eggs and detail. Like even when you're able to go back to the beginning and see the flower thing, and that adds that little small detail. I think another game that has a lot of detail like that is Dark Souls and Demon Souls, and those From Software games usually have like a lot of Easter eggs and detail like that. Their plot pretty much relies on those Easter eggs. And actually, this is going to be major spoilers for Dark Souls. But Dark Souls also did play with the, like, what am I fighting for? Concept in questioning people who blindly follow the quest that the game kind of makes you follow without questioning it is kind of insane in, like, a realistic term. And let the ambiguous ending and the ambiguous plot that was... There was like no right answer in Dark Souls for its endings and paths. And both you were inherently manipulated, and that was kind of a jab at how games are structured. And this is doing something similar. I mentioned I have a theory about the main player character and the flower. And in my previous playthrough I mentioned I think the flower is another player character. Or was a player character. I think the player character, the child, the girl, whatever, I think she's also probably a player character. Like, she may not be an actual child based off of Flowey's, I'm gonna call it demon route dialogue. Because he mentions they're inseparable. They could be both coins. A Flowey could be the kind of devil on the shoulder, the typical video game player and how they play games. Yeah, like the duality of the player and their decisions, and almost like an RPG's good Jedi, bad Jedi, Paragon, Renegade, whatever route. Flowey, I think, if that theory is true, I have multiple theories how this plot's gonna unfold, then I think Flowey would definitely be the representation of the evil, dark side, renegade, whatever route, aside from being a jab at how games are structured. And the child player character kind of represents the potential of your actions. Because it seems like with the demon route, you were working with Flowey now, with the way he talks in this, that was fun, let's finish the job thing. And that line almost sounds like something you hear in a lot of kind of action-y, kill the fuck out of everyone games, like even Halo or anything, you always see that line, let's finish the fight, or things like that. It's a twist on that, in my opinion. I could be wrong, I could be looking too deep into it. That's how I interpret this final line here. That was fun, let's finish the job. I think that's all I can really say about the plot with what we've been given. I'm sure there's more Easter eggs and dialogue there. If you're attached to Toriel, probably the most heartbreaking thing is the expression when you kill her in that ending. Because you critical her, done. And she has this, Sprite actually does a good job of expressing the emotion, and she looks utterly crushed. Much more so than when you kill her in any other way. Pretty depressing. But we'll see what happens with the full game. There's probably definitely going to be some more twists to this. And we'll see how some of my theories stack up. Also, the manual does change again, and it makes a dramatic change. I'm going to show you. And it just goes on, and on, and on, and on. And on. Well, that's all I can really talk about, I think, for now. Undertale, definitely a good, really good demo. It can pretty much stand on its own as its own game. The thing I'm gonna find annoying is when the full game comes out. If the demo remains intact as the first part of the game, considering the amount of context changing things that happen, and then based on what you do, I have no idea how the full games can unfold. Like how much work you'll have to do to maintain a certain route, like kill everyone route or pacifist route. It could be quite difficult, depending how much more content would be available after the demo. We'll see though. Anyway, thank you all for watching my second playthrough of Undertale demo. And, well, that was fun. Let's finish the job.